It's your girl, Lady Mocha. And you know I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off with a slice of knowledge. What's up, everybody? It is Friday. Yes, we finally made it to the end of the week, family. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, your one and only Lady Mocha. Y'all know how I operate here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. I'm always kicking that actual, factual knowledge, wisdom, and spiritual awareness. I believe that is so needed in the Black community, especially when it comes to us as Black women. It's something that too many of us are lacking. And we need to be striving for knowledge more than we are striving for attention. Also, if this is your first time catching one of my uploads, I definitely want to thank you and welcome you to Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Hope to see you more. For those of you who have been rocking with me from day one since I started this journey, I thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for your dedication, for your donations, for always stopping by to let me know that you're still hanging in there, that you're still part of the family. I appreciate all of my subscribers. I don't see all our subscribers or donators. People who just donate. I see y'all as my family, and I also learn a lot from y'all, like y'all learn from me. So believe me, when y'all leave comments and everything in the content, I utilize that. I utilize that information, and I also try to learn from the things that you guys, the knowledge that y'all share with me as well. Also, if you have just became a part of the family, you just subscribed, you caught me on somebody else's live chat, you decide to subscribe to me, and now you're catching one of my solo uploads, which is what I'm doing now. I want to thank you and welcome you for hanging out with me at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Big ups to Gab, I think that was Gab Talk Media. I hope I'm saying the right name. I appreciate him for welcoming me to his last live, even though I was late as hell. But I thank him. He had a really, really interesting topic, talking about the Black single mothers within the community. I think he was, what was that? I want to give y'all the right name. I definitely don't want to say nothing. He was doing content based on the Moynihan concept of single Black mothers in the community, which was really, really interesting. Something I probably plan on piggybacking on and doing myself. He basically had a concept about, he highlighted the fact that the rising fraction of Black children growing up in households headed by unmarried mothers. He attributed the increase largely to the precarious economic position of Black men. Many of women were no longer able to play their traditional role as their family's primary breadwinner, and he basically argued that growing up in homes without a male breadwinner reduced Black children's chances of climbing out of poverty, which I think is really, really good teaching, and I definitely want to reiterate on that, and I think I'm going to do a video on that very soon. So big ups to Gab Talk Media, Gabriel. I'm definitely going to piggyback on that because I know that it's a subject that needs to be touched. It's a sensitive subject, but I'm going to touch on it anyway because that's how I operate. But let me go on to today's menu. What's on the recipe, what I'm serving y'all today. I want to talk about this situation because, you know, my subscribers, I see y'all as family, and I feel like I can talk to y'all about anything, no matter how petty or serious it is. But it's just stuff that I notice I pick up on. This particular situation, I have a Facebook account. And I know a lot of people don't fool with Facebook, and I get it. You know, you're not missing out on anything if you don't have a Facebook account. I wouldn't have one myself if I wasn't a content creator, but being a content creator, you have to constantly be up on game and what's going on in the social media world. So unfortunately, I have to, you know, still participate in these type of social media things. So I noticed there's a particular female, Michelle, remain nameless. I don't believe in blowing up spots. I'm not gonna mention nobody's name. On my YouTube channel, I just don't believe in bringing that kind of drama here. But this particular young lady is so obsessed with being married till it's not even it's not even funny. She posts pictures of her and her husband on her Facebook account, and I'm not even lying to y'all. I'm being dead ass serious. She posts pictures of her and her husband like at least 8 times a day or more. 8 times a day or more. She's constantly bragging about her husband like he's Jesus himself, like he's the best thing since sliced bread. And let me start off by saying this. Don't get me wrong. I'm a married woman. I've been married 19 years. And I think it's a beautiful thing when a man, especially a black man and a black woman, can come together and build a foundation in marriage, because we don't have a lot of that going on, and there's so much negativity about black love. So when you do find a black man and a black woman that's married and they praise each other, they acknowledge each other, I think it's a beautiful thing, because we don't get a lot of that going on. And we have to promote black love more. We have to promote it. We have to show to those who don't believe in black love that it is very possible. And it's a lot of us that are living it. But it's always that one particular sister or brother that got to take things to a whole nother level. Okay. There's always one that has to be so damn extra. This chick is so damn extra. She brags about her husband 24 hours on her Facebook page. Now, this ain't no teenage girl. Now, I understand when you under 24 years old, you're gonna do stuff like that because you young, dumb, you don't know no better. You know, we do stuff when we young. But when you're over the age of 30, especially when you're 40, this woman is over 40 years old, and she brags on her husband like he's President Barack Obama. She's posting pictures of him every day, talking about how much she loves him, how much he's the best thing that ever happened to her, and you know, and I'm listening, you know, to her, you know, post all of this on her social media, and in the back of my mind, because y'all know how I am, I'm a deep analyzer, I'm an analyst, I'm always looking beneath the surface. I'm not one, I don't look on top of the surface, I look beneath it, because to me, it's always a deeper reason for why people do what they do and say the things that they say. And I'm always doing surgery. So as I'm seeing her post stuff every single day, I said it's something going on here. It's more to it than what meets the eye. I said it got to be something else going on. And usually people like that who run their mouth a lot on social media, all of us know that one person. Hell, we may be talking about the same person, but people that are so over the top like that, eventually they tell on themselves if you pay attention. Eventually they're going to leak some extra information to you because they run their mouth so much, or they always doing the most, as I would call it, that eventually they're going to say too much. They're going to tell on themselves. They're going to rat on themselves without even realizing it. And basically, one day, that's kind of what she did. She went on posting on her social media account, basically stating that, you know, how I've been through so much pain, and you know, I'm so glad that God blessed me with a man who loves me. You know, I didn't give up on love, and this man didn't give up on me. And things I went through in my past marriage. And I said, I pulled the damn needle off the record. I said, okay, past marriage. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. That's the goddamn answer. That's the answer. I said, this is why you're doing too much with the new husband, because you never got past the old husband. And I will be honest with y'all, I see black women do this a lot. And not just black women. I've seen women of other races too. Let me say that. I just speak on black women a lot because that's who I identify with, because I am a black woman. So I'm not just singling us out, but it is what it is. And I noticed that when a woman has had a failed relationship and especially a failed marriage, and she had her hopes up so high on her marriage, and to see that it failed or not progress, it changes her whole outlook on life. It brings her a new level of disappointment that she never thought she would have to experience. So what I notice when it comes to women with a failed marriage or a failed relationship, it definitely takes an emotional toll. It's almost like a near death experience, because as women, we tend to put so much hope, and a lot of us, and I'm guilty of it myself, we tend to place our companions on a pedestal, not realizing that it's one thing to love someone, but it's a different thing to worship them. And I think what has happened to some of these black women in the black community, when they do get married, they become overly obsessive and possessive of their marriages and of their husbands. They become so obsessive and possessive to the point to where they will worship their husbands by making them their everything. And I know it sounds kind of, I know it kind of seems like I'm stating that, we're not supposed to overly glorify our husbands. And let me just break it down a little bit more, because I want y'all to understand where I'm going with this. My thing is, there's nothing wrong with loving your husband or loving your wife. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be careful that you don't worship them, okay? There's a difference. When you get to the point to where that's all you can talk about is your husband or your wife all day, how fine my husband is, how beautiful my wife is. You brag about your spouse so much to the point people don't even want to be around you. People don't even want to call and hang out with you. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I know this chick don't have no friends. There's no way in hell, and I can tell she doesn't have any friends, because on her account, I never see, on her Facebook page, I never see her post anything about her friends, that they go out, they hang out, they do things together. It's always about her husband, 24/7. And I think that's very dangerous. And some men do it, but men don't do it as often as women, which is why I'm not really speaking on the men too heavily, because always that one sister on here, well, it's men who do it. It's men who do it. Yeah, I know that, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about how some of us as women, we just go overboard, and the bad part about this is that women who put themselves in this position, they're the ones who become devastated when these men divorce them or leave them or cheat on them. They can't handle it because they put so much hope, and they worship these men to the point to where if these men were to disappoint them, they would not be able to handle it. These type of women, they end up, on the edge of a nervous breakdown. They have to, be enrolled in a crazy house, they basically they lose themselves because they put so much of their happiness into their husbands. And I think that's dangerous. And I'm not telling no black woman out there, I'm not telling a woman that she should not love her husband. She should not, acknowledge him. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you have to be careful when you make a human being your everything, because by nature, human beings, we are designed to disappoint each other. We are, because you're human. I have disappointed my husband in ways where he never thought I would disappoint him. And he has disappointed me in ways where I never thought he would disappoint me. We have disappointed each other. No matter how much we loved each other, we disappointed each other. And I think it's very dangerous when a woman puts her husband on a pedestal, or a man puts his wife on a pedestal. But it's definitely dangerous when a woman does it, because women were already emotionally wired. So when your husband disappoints you because he's a human being, not so much because he's a dog ass dude and he don't care, he's no good or whatever, just that everybody, we're human beings. So never put your trust wholeheartedly into anybody. You have to give people room to make mistakes. You have to give people room to disappoint you. That's a good one there. I just thought of that. You have to give people room to disappoint you, because it is going to happen. If you really believe that a person is never going to disappoint you, you're going to be devastated. And I look at women like her and I'm like, you the type of chick, if you that obsessed with your husband and you find out this dude is cheating on you or messing around or whatever, you'll lose your mind, because you put so much hope into him, because you're so obsessed and you worship the ground that he walks on. Now, keep in mind, we see women like this go through it every day. If y'all haven't heard already, Wendy Williams is finally going to divorce her husband, Kevin Hunter. She's filed for the divorce. Yes, honey. We knew it was only a matter of time. No matter how hard you try to hold it down, no matter how much she tried to act like, everything was perfect, and no matter what, they was going to weather the storm, no matter what the media had to say, no matter what people had to say, and she would not acknowledge it in no shape or form. Even finding out after he done got his mistress knocked up, she was still going on doing her shows, still would not acknowledge it, would not address it. And I kind of get it. Even though for a living she's always being so open with other people's marriages. I mean, that's what she does for a living. The chick is a blogger, okay? She's a celebrity gossip, person. That's what she does. She gets some people business. She airs their dirty laundry. And I get it. It's because I air your laundry. That don't mean I want to goddamn air mine, But anyway, it finally hit a breaking point to now where she can't even protect him no more. And sometimes that's what happens as a man or a woman when you are so overly obsessed or overly protective of your companion, and they do something to embarrass you, because again, like I said, they're human. The humans are promised to disappoint you. You're going to disappoint people because you're human, and people are going to disappoint you because they're human. Just expect it. And that's basically what happened. She tried to hold it down, and when we saw her holding it down from a woman's point of view, I could tell her holding it down was breaking her down and tearing her down. You just saw how bad she began to look. She was withering like a flower, it was emotionally and physically taking a toll on her. And I can only imagine, and women who have been cheated on, who have been lied on, could relate to that feeling. So I know what she has gone through as a woman, because every woman, whether we want to admit it or not, we have all been there. So let's not act all righteous or holier than thou, because your husband ain't been all of that either, and you ain't been all of that either. If it wasn't him cheating, your ass cheated one time. Okay, we've all experienced it at some point. So I understood her pain, but I knew the reason that she was going through that significant amount of pain, because she had worshipped this man. She had placed him on a pedestal. Wendy Williams bragged about her husband so much, and I notice a lot of celebrity couples have done that. Those who do it, they end up divorcing. This has become an ongoing problem within America. These people who want to place their husbands or wives on a pedestal. I remember when Eva Longoria was with that basketball player. Let me see if I can't remember his freaking name. But we see this all the time, where people who constantly brag on their companions and act like they're the best things since sliced bread. Tony Parker. That's who Eva Longoria with. I remember when she was married to him, y'all. She used to brag on this man so much. I mean, she made it would make my edges fall out. That's how much she bragged about this man every freaking interview. And I'm just, to me, I don't like women who brag on their husbands too much. I don't like to be around women like that. I don't like to talk to women like that. You know, I've been married for 19 years, and I'm not going to brag on my husband 24/7. I will share his accomplishments. You know, I will share some good news here and there, but I'm not going to rub in nobody else's face how great my husband is and how great my marriage is, to the point to where I'm making other people feel like their marriage is not as great as mine. I just think when you do stuff like that, you set yourself up for failure. And Eva Longoria, I mean, she was in love with Tony Parker. And it went left. You know, she got with him in 2007. And they divorced in 2011. And she's with somebody totally different. And I believe he's with somebody totally different. She just placed him on the pedestal. And when it boiled down to it, she ended up getting embarrassed. This is what happens, you know, when you don't give people room to disappoint you. And you put them on a pedestal like they can never do no wrong. They would never disappoint you, and you get embarrassed. You become shamed. Even Gloria Govan, she was on the Basketball Wives when it first came out initially. I don't know how many of y'all out there watch reality shows, but she used to brag on her husband a lot. Basketball player Matt Barnes. Let me see who he used to play for. He used to play for I don't know, I ain't know, but I just know he an NBA star. I'll let y'all men comment below on where who Matt Barnes used to play for, because I don't keep up with that stuff. I don't know about no sports. But anyway, yeah, they used to, when she was on the show, she used to brag on her husband all the time. And brag about how other women was hating on him and all of this other stuff. And it was really amazing to me. And when it boiled back down to it, I mean, they divorced. I mean, they had the ugliest divorce. It was real ugly. To the point of, you know, she tried to keep the kids from him on his visitation day, and he had to go to court. I mean, he got the kids in his custody now because she messed up. She did something stupid. Something she did where he was able to gain custody. I don't know what it was, but she messed up because she allowed her anger to get the best of her. And, you know, Gloria's just one of those chicks, you know, she's not having that. You know, it's her way or no way at all. And Matt Barnes, he the same way. So that was like putting fire with gasoline. So I believe he has custody of the kids right now. And I think right now, she did something. She violated the court order. Something she did that was against the law, that you know, it worked out in Matt Barnes' favor to where he has custody of the children now. So now he's trying to get the child support overturned that he's been paying her, which is only right if he has the kids or whatever. So it was real ugly. But I remember initially in the beginning, I mean, she put him up there on the pedestal and he put her up there on the pedestal. And I'm like, when are people going to get it that you have to realize people will disappoint you? You don't make nobody all of that. That is just the reality of it. You know, I love my husband, but I cannot sit up there and put him on a pedestal like he's God himself. And I wouldn't expect him to do it with me. I mean, I would treat him like a king and he treats me like his queen, but we know there's a line. You don't make nothing bigger than God himself. I mean, some of y'all be doing so much, to be doing too much and end up embarrassed. You know, you end up devastated because you don't make this person seem bigger than what they are. You know, so that's basically what had happened. You know, a lot of women have experienced this. Whitney Houston, God bless her soul, she did it. Bobby Brown was her everything. She would never speak bad about him, never speak ill of him until, when a divorce happened. Of course, that's when all the truth came out. Like I said, Wendy Williams tried to do it, and she ended up divorcing. Wendy Williams is now divorcing her husband right now as we speak. Whitney Houston divorced Bobby before she passed. It comes a point when you make somebody your everything and they disappoint you or they disrespect you or whatever, you end up having to walk that hall of shame. And that's why it's important as a woman, and then even a married man, you have to be careful placing your companion or your spouse on a pedestal. Like, they can't do no wrong and you constantly bragging about them. And I've seen everybody who I've ever seen done it is embarrassed, ends up embarrassed. And I see, back to this point here, I noticed when she said her ex-husband, it let me know right then. This is the reason why the young lady I was telling y'all about, that's on social media, posting her husband 20 hours a day, letting everybody know how wonderful, how great he is. I realized when she said the word, her marriage, her past marriage, that spoke volumes to me as to why she was posting so much about her husband, because she never got past that last marriage not working out. And 9 times out of 10, the way she acts with this man, I'm sure she did it with him. The overly bragging, acting like he was the best thing since sliced bread. And once that marriage did not work out, the next man that was willing to marry her, she made sure she put him on this pedestal, because that's her way of trying to prove to her ex-husband, yeah, you disappointed me, you might have let me down, but guess what? I'm living my best life. I got me a new husband. I'm doing so great. And it's a lot of women who do that. When they lose the marriage they really wanted, they will jump on the next marriage out of pain, because the truth of the matter is, a lot of women, they are willing to get over a man by automatically getting up under another one. Some women, that is how they function. Now, I'm not one. I've never been able to do that. For me, it takes time to heal and mentally get my heart and my mind back together. But some women don't do that. You have some women, when they are so broken and in so much pain, they still want to prove a point. So the next ship comes sailing, they jump on it right away. They don't give it no thought. And the worst thing a woman could do is make a decision when she's vulnerable and still in pain, because it doesn't take much for the next man to win you over. It doesn't take much for him to win you over, because basically, you still hurt and you're still healing. And basically, that person has an advantage of coming into your life in one of your most vulnerable moments. So it won't take much for him to score brownie points, especially when you're still hurting. And when she said that, I knew right then, I said, see, that's why you're doing all this, because you never got past that ex-husband who didn't want you, cheat on you, or you had to leave him. I don't know her situation, but that let me know that a lot of women do that. They get them second husbands or them second relationships, and they will put these guys on a damn billboard like they so great, and look at my new husband, and we're doing so much better now. He rescued me when my heart was in despair. And we always have to prove a point. When really you allowed this guy to come into your life basically because you were vulnerable, and you want to prove a point to your ex-husband who's probably married to a whole nother woman, or who's probably done moved on with his life and don't even care about you in that sense anymore, and you still butthurt about it. Let's be frank. A lot of women will glorify their husbands because they never got past the last husband, or they know that last husband is past them. So when she said that, that let me know that she was still butthurt and bitter. And a lot of us as women, we have to realize, you have to look at it this way. Men are not emotionally wired like us. It's not to say they're not emotional, because they are, but they're not emotionally wired like we are. When a man has moved on, he has moved on. He's not feeling some type of way about it. He don't care about who you with. He don't care about how you living your best life, because one thing about a man, if he really wants something, he would have worked hard at it to keep you. He would have fought. He would have did whatever he could, unless it was just one of them situations where you just knew the man just was a straight dog, and the marriage couldn't be saved. Couldn't be saved because you just got some dudes out there that are just low down. I mean, you can't make them a husband even if you paid them. So so some situations it is justified that you have to leave some of these marriages because some people ain't going to get it together no matter what. And maybe he was that kind of dude, but for some of y'all have to rub y'all happiness in somebody else's face and not realize that. To me, people who overly address their happiness, to me, I look at it as the opposite. The more you have to brag about how happy you are, that's the more miserable you are, if you ask me. Because anybody who's really happy and you feel like you're sitting in a great place, you're too busy enjoying your happiness to be acknowledging how happy you are. You know what I mean? So you can always tell when a person is really feeling the opposite of what they're trying to portray themselves to be. Now, so that's one reason I realized that some women are so obsessed with their husbands because they never got past the man they really wanted to be their husband. So the next man that's willing to replace that and take the place of that, she's going to put all her hope and praises unto him, and hopefully he doesn't disappoint her because she's going to set herself up for another heartbreak. Now I notice the other reason some women are so overly obsessed with their husbands and their marriages because the majority of them have thought it out. They have thought out. They have hoard out. They basically done had so much community dick to the point to where they felt at some point they was almost disposable. I mean, dudes wasn't checking for them like that, wasn't trying to marry them, wasn't trying to be with them, wasn't trying to have nothing with them. And finally, once they find a simp or a dude that's willing to marry them, despite their track record of being a thought, they are so infatuated that a man was finally willing to give them a chance because they know deep down in their hearts they really don't deserve it. They know they've been out there. They know they've been sleeping with too many Tom, Dick, and Daryls. They know that. So when they finally meet a man that's willing to marry them and have a family with them despite their track record, they go head in over heels with it because, for one, they know they're not even worthy of that, and they're surprised themselves that there's a man that was willing to take a gamble on them. And not realizing that that man probably took a gamble on you because he's weak, or either he didn't really know your history. He don't really know how many dudes you've been with or how many dudes you done slept with. And I'm sure had he known that, he probably would have had to change your heart. So some women, those who have been out there, those who have whored around for a long time, that have been all over the block, when they finally get married, they become overly obsessive because they worry about women that used to be like them targeting their husbands. You have to realize past thoughts are always worried about new thoughts. Reform thoughts or reform whores, they're always worried about the new whores. They're worried about, women that are like what they used to be because they know how grimy women are and how grimy women could be because they once upon a time was those same women. And a lot of times as women, we worry about our past coming back to haunt us because sometimes you have to realize, even though you are older and your mindset has changed, you got some young women coming up behind you that are going to think like you used to think. They're going to think like we used to think. They're going to do what we used to do. So now that automatically becomes a threat. So you have some women who are overly obsessive with their husbands because they used to thought a lot, and they never thought, they would look up and get somebody who would want to marry them. And once they found somebody that was willing to marry them despite their track record, some of these women become so overly infatuated because they're so worried about their husbands getting bamboozled by the new thoughts that are coming up in the game. So these type of women that have thought it out, they will become very threatened by other women because they know the tricks and the schemes they used to pull out there with other people's husbands or other people's boyfriend from back in the day. As I stated before, a lot of these women never get past their ex. And it's several reasons why some of these women are obsessed with their husbands. And in many cases, most of these women are obsessed more with their marriage than their actual husband. And so many women are so infatuated with the idea of being married versus actually having a marriage. They're obsessed with the fact of having this wedding, the venue, the wedding dress, because it's that Walt Disney fantasy perception that so many women are still um in denial about. As so many women still looking for that white picket fence, the cat, the dog, the boy, and the girl. It's some grown women who over the age of 40 who should know better by now that the fantasy never plays out but the reality. But some of these women still stay in delusion. They still stay in denial. They still look for this Walt Disney Prince Charming knight in shining armor to come into their broken life and sweep them off their damn feet. You know, when the truth of the matter is our fantasies never align with our realities. You know, so you have some women, they so obsessed with marriage more than the actual idea of being married. And what happens is when the wedding is over, when you know the actual event of the marriage, the wedding is over, now you have to deal with the reality. Now that the wedding is done, you got to go home with this joker behind closed doors. You have to really deal with the real him. You have to deal with his attitudes. You got to deal with his mood swings. You have to deal with your attitudes and your mood swings. Basically, you know, now the honeymoon phases where has worn off. You got to deal with the reality. Y'all got bills, y'all got mortgage, y'all got children. Y'all going to deal with some heavy trials and tribulations. There's things y'all are going to experience in a marriage that a lot of you, neither one of you expected. Y'all may lose a child together. Y'all going to be losing parents. It's things that are going to happen. One of y'all may end up very sickly. You know, somebody may be diagnosed with cancer. It's all type of things that happen in marriage and in life. And if you're so enthroned with the idea of a wonderful marriage that you don't keep that level of maturity, you're not going to be prepared for the bad times that are bound to come, because the bad times are coming. It's a reason those marriage vows say for better or for worse, because trust and believe the worst will be coming. And you got to be woman enough and man enough to understand that. You cannot be the type of man or woman that, you know, as long as everything is going great and everything is working out wonderfully, you know, you're in it. But as soon as there's a problem or issue, you jump in ship, because you'll never be in a relationship, because there's going to always be bad times, and you got to be man or woman enough to be able to endure it. And if you're one of those type of people, you punk out and you cower out of responsibilities as soon as the grits hit the fan, you don't want to endure it, you'll never be in a long-lasting relationship. You're going to be one of those people, you're going to jump from relationship to relationship, because I don't care who you be with. I don't care if they're rich. I don't care if they're beautiful, successful, handsome, whatever. People got baggage. People got issues. And a real man and a real woman is going to find a way to work through those issues. They're not going to jump ship every time these issues come about. But you have to be very careful how you place your companions on the pedestal. Also, like I said, you have a few men who do this. Scottie Pippen did it with his ex-wife. I mean, he married you know, this white lady. Forgot her name. I'm gonna look it up. Find his name. Scottie Pippen. He did it. He was married to her for many years. I think every bit of like 20-something years or whatever. Pippen, ex-wife. Yeah, and basically, you know, you can just tell, you know, she was younger than him, you know, an attractive white woman, and she had all four of his children and everything, and she just she ended up embarrassing him. He basically put on the pedestal, gave her let her have all of his children. And the first thing I remember was when it came out that she was to rapper Future house, talking about a big downgrade. Messing with rapper Future. That was the first episode, and the media was eating that alive because as a celebrity, you can't get caught cheating. Paparazzi gonna put it out there. So they bounced back from that. He initially was supposed to divorce her. He was going to divorce her then. But him being so infatuated with his wife because she's white and beautiful and young and all of this other stuff, he overlooked it. He was that close to divorcing her, and at the last minute, he changed his mind. Um, and when he changed his mind, how about she turned around and she divorced him? When he had the room to divorce her, he was in the right. But he allowed her looks or whatever to make him change his mind. Because this was back in 2016. He was gonna file for it yeah, they was married for 21 years. He was the one who initially filed for the divorce after the rumors started circulating that she was doing something with Future, because paparazzi had caught some pictures of her to Future's house or whatever. And sure enough, she ended up divorcing him after he was willing to give her a chance. I'm like, bro, I mean, that's why I tell people, the grass ain't never greener. You know what I mean? It don't matter who you be with, what color they are, what race. You can never play it safe, bro. You get on the other side, it's all the damn same. People so damn shady. I don't care if they black, white, or whatever. But they say she's now out here living her best life. She's with some what, 20 25-year-old or something. She's with a younger dude. Yeah, a younger. He's what? I don't know if he's Puerto Rican. Yeah, he's 20 years old. And he's a white guy, but he looks like, I don't think he's really white. Is he Arabian? I don't like to say racist. I don't like to say the wrong race because people get offended. You'll call somebody Arabian when they're really Indian, or you'll call them Pakistani when they're really Arab. I don't know. But he just don't look straight white. He looks like he's a certain type of ethnicity. He's not an ugly looking young man or whatever, but you can just tell. Once she got rid of Scottie Pippen, old black behind, she got her a young stud. You know what I mean? I mean, she's definitely living her best life. That's what she wanted. I mean, she got tired of looking at Scottie Pippen's, sagging scrotum sack. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when you date somebody younger. You continue to get older and they continue to get younger. That's the bad part. That's why you got to be careful about dating somebody younger than you, because they're going to still be attracted to people their age, no matter what, no matter how much money you give them. I'm sure she just started looking at Scottie Pippen like a granddaddy. She didn't want to sleep with him no more. She got tired of him coming to bed smelling like Bing Gay, Athlete's Cream, and Old Spice. Oh my goodness, it's too early to get started. Anyway, y'all, it's the coffee. This coffee got me highly energized. But anyway, I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. I just thought it was imperative that I shared this recipe, this topic with y'all about, as men and as women, we need to be very careful that we love our companions, we respect our opinions. Our companions. I'm sorry, I'm saying opinions. It's very important that we respect our companions. We love our companions. You treat them with appreciation, but do not, I repeat, do not worship the ground your husband or wives walk on. Okay? Don't do that, because when they embarrass you or devastate you, it's going to really take a toll on you, because you put so much into them, to where you made them believe, and you made yourself believe, they could never do you no harm, or they could never do you no wrong. Do not put yourself in that situation. Give people room to fail you, and it doesn't mean that the relationship cannot overcome it. It just means that bad times are a reality check, and that's what makes your relationship grow. When you disappoint one another, you learn what not to do, and you learn how to handle situations better, and more different. That's what bad times are supposed to do. It's supposed to grow and strengthen the relationship. But to you women out here, because like I said, there's more y'all that are doing this than men. Stop placing these dudes on the pedestal. Stop placing your husband on the pedestal. Stop bragging about your husband 24/7. People don't be wanting to hear all that. You know, just because people ain't bragging about their husbands and bragging about living their best life, that don't mean they're not as happy as you. They just don't feel the need to go around and have to keep addressing it to everybody. Y'all need to come off of that. Y'all acting like little high school girls who never been in love before. You know, when this same man turns around and embarrasses you or disgraces you, then you want to go talking to quoting scriptures and how the Lord is going to condemn those who mistreat their wives and companions. You want all this. You want all these prayer. You want people to go in prayer with you to keep your marriage and to change your husband. It's a bunch of baloney. I'm just so over it. I'm just so done with some of these brides out here. But anyway, y'all, what is y'all opinion on this? Have y'all experienced being as women? To my sisters out there, have y'all experienced women who overly have always bragged about their husbands and ended up embarrassed? Or are you one of those women? Why do you feel the need to constantly brag on your husband so much? I mean, make me understand. Here we can be transparent. To some of you dudes out there, do y'all know women who have done this? Have you had a woman that bragged on you so much and you disappointed her, and how did y'all get past it or whatever? So I'm just interested in knowing everybody's opinion on this. I think it's a very interesting topic. But anyway, we're going to do the salon chat. We're going to do it on Tuesdays. I have, well, I call it the non-ratchet movement. Me and Ruby and Kels, we're going to get together on Tuesday nights. I would have loved to do it on Friday nights. It's not going to work because it's just too many people that go live on Friday nights. So if y'all want to catch my lives, just be prepared on some Tuesdays around 7 o'clock. We'll be doing some live chats. The salon chop, we're going to chop it up, me and the ladies. And I'm going to, at some point, I'm going to chop it up with the fellas too on Tuesday night. So I'm going to get with them as well. So just be on the lookout to catch me live on Tuesday nights, y'all. I won't be doing it on Fridays because it's just too much traffic. Everybody and their grandma will be going live on Friday nights. So it just takes away from being able to give my subscribers my undivided attention. So anyway, y'all, it is your girl, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always bake you off a slice of knowledge. Y'all take care. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.